Best of 5. I don't know if I actually told them that, so I'm going to tell them. They should know. All the info's on Wikipedia. But you know, pros don't like to read information relevant to their actual tournaments that they're playing in. Let's see if Attow's actually here. Joreuz is just going to... Oh, yeah, there he is. Is he lagging or is he just tapped in? Not sure if we're going to need to do something about this. Let's find out. Wait. Okay, that's a very confusing start to the match. Did Joreuz look at the scoreboard and see Atow lagging, or did he just botch his kickoff and then Atow scored a perfect top corner shot? Well done. I think Joreuz just boomed himself there. Okay, great start for Atow. Like I said, he's going to be competitive in the matchup. You guys need to calm down with the Atow accusations. Wait, what? Well, that was, you know, a bit of an awkward position for Joreuz because Atow was there, but I still expected him to score that. Really well done by Atow to kind of scare him into missing. Ping test? Nah, not not a failed ping test this time. A failed speed flip, have you ever seen one? Yeah, that was what I was first thinking, but then I also, since I had the scoreboard up, I did wonder, did Joreuz see Atow's ping and just assume that we're not starting? Because sometimes that's a thing. Is a player will notice the other player is lagging and they'll think like, okay, clearly we're not, he's not going to play with that lag. But then in fact the other player's fine and just continues playing. I mean, in competition you should just play until the admin pauses the game. You should treat it like just as normal of a game as you can. Yeah, what to expect from Atow in this matchup, those of you who are new to watching his ones. Be prepared for some, well, I'm going to say surprisingly good positioning, and I only say surprisingly because he's not a guy who's played a lot of ones show matches in the past, or even, I don't know if he's ever played a ones tournament before. Oh dear, Joreuz missed again. This time he will get a nice recovery off the back of it and probably be able to fight and not concede, but still, very strange to see Joreuz missing these opportunities. Yeah, in the match versus Raziers that Atow was able to win, I was very impressed with Atow's ability to position off the ball. It's usually something that takes a lot of time to really get down at the top level, and usually top tier 1s players are able to just out pressure their opponents and just generally control where the game is being played and manipulate their opponent into running out of boost for no reason. But that didn't happen with Atow. He had phenomenal boost management, great positioning. Look at this. I mean, you should never doubt this guy's mechanical ability. I'm sure this won't come as a surprise to you guys that one of Team Liquid's players is able to do things like this. Wow, really no way out for Joreuz there. Big blocking angle at the end there of the air dribble from Atow. Is Joreuz second or third seed in this tournament? The seeding for this tournament, like Raziers and Joreuz, are kind of like just the same in my opinion. They're like very close, and then Atow is just very close to Gom as well because there's not a lot of data on him, but Gom there's more data on, but he's had more losses. So for me there's a clear top 3 in this tournament: Moxie, Raziers, Joreuz, and there's a clear bottom 3 as well. Now look at this, we've got a reverse from Joreuz into Atow. Atow actually able to steer that into his favor though to gain the possession back. With the 1 goal lead, you've got to give him props. So he didn't rush that, managed to turn the engagement around, and once he was pointed in a favourable angle, went and took the ball for himself. But will he be punished by the Rocket League gods for breaking the headlock, for destroying the second rule of Rocket League? Joreuz is 50-50ing well here, but Atow's recoveries are undeniable. Once again, back to the ball quickly. Joreuz wanted a wave dash on that challenge. Still first to the ball. And I think even Atow's going to struggle to get back to that one. It's already in. Joreuz doesn't need any more touches. And we do have a tie game. Yeah, all you Zoomers think that Rule 1 is driving into the opponent when obviously... wait, did they both just tie flip on the kickoff? That's first time I've seen that in a while. They both have flipped, and if both players have flipped and move quickly, you actually have a normal kickoff. They just arrive at the same time with tons of boost. Yeah, it's a zoomer rule 1. The boomer rule 1 is keeping the ball up at 0 seconds. Actually, I think like the original rule 1 must have come from Cuxer's Twitch chat way back in the day when Cuxer97 streamed on Twitch. He had rules in his Twitch chat. You could type !rule 1 and Nightbot would tell you a rule, and you could type !rule 2 and it would tell you another rule that Cuxer played by. And if I'm not mistaken, Cuxer's rule 1 was no open nets. He would never score open nets because it was boring. So if he had an open net, he would instead dribble the ball to a sidewall and air dribble the ball in once his opponent's recovered. So that was the Cuxer rule 1 in the very, very old days. But kind of like the rule that every... Look at this, they've actually established a kickoff meta here where they're half flipping at every kickoff. I love that. Oh, I hope we get to see more of this. They might just keep doing it because it's an dead even kickoff, but they might just go for it. Yeah, Jack still plays for that rule all the time, even to this day. But yeah, you would see everyone back in the day in ranked would, like, you know, everybody would keep the ball in the air. These days, I think it happens less often, like keeping the ball up in 0 seconds for no reason, because people are a lot more try-hard with their rank points these days, so they really want to get that win. If they're up by 1, they're just dropping the ball. If they're up by 2, they're like, okay, time to go next, and they just drop it. So, but back in the day, everybody would keep the ball up in 0 seconds because it was kind of considered difficult to do. Now it's just easy. Everybody, like, you know, if you see somebody dribbling the ball around on 0 seconds on their car, oh dear, Atow's missed an open net there. You wouldn't be impressed anymore, even in low rank. You'd be like, yeah, whatever, I could do that. But back in the day, like, dribbling the ball and holding it up in the air was considered very, very difficult to do, and only a handful of players could do it in the world. Oh, what a touch by Joreuz. That is masterful. Well, what a way to punish an Atow open net miss. Look at that. So many people would have just rushed that follow-up shot, but Joreuz, knowing that Atow's going to recover in the blink of an eye, just pops it over him and just very gradually leans back so that he can avoid getting clattered out of the way by Atow's follow-through. I think Atow's throwing goal here. He is! 5-5. Oh, we have got a very interesting series in our hands. Joreuz didn't start off this game with his best play, but he's definitely ironed out a few mistakes and started to play to a higher level. And even while he's doing that, Atow is still hanging with him. Can he actually steal game 1 here with a demo? And when I say steal, I mean secure, because that was earned. Joreuz lets his guard down for just the blink of an eye. Atow flips onto him. Look at the acceleration. He threw himself at Joreuz there. 8 seconds to go. No half flip this time. Too serious of a moment in the game. Joreuz is going to try and take the ball away from him. You're joking. No way has he done that. That was daylight robbery. He just took the ball right off the top of Atow's car, but Atow is going to be there to save the shot and eventually win the game. Look at this. Already potential upset in round 1. I mean, Joreuz doesn't look like himself 100%, but he didn't play, like, shockingly badly. It's not like he was just all over the place. Yeah, I think he had a couple of shots that he missed, but apart from that, looked pretty normal. I think Atow, he honestly is just the real deal. I think he's either a natural ones player or he's a secret ones grinder. How did he demo him with the wheels? Sometimes the replay incorrectly predicts where the card is, or the spectator client incorrectly predicts where the card is on the actual server, so he might have been in a slightly different position. Yeah, probably just the very bottom edge of the hitbox clipped him, is what I would guess. It's extremely side-on kickoff there for Joreuz. I'm not sure exactly what he's going for there. It didn't look like Atow was approaching with a kind of weird angle. Sometimes you see players go for very side-on kickoffs if the opponent looks like they're just missing from one side. But yeah, not that time for Atow. It looked like he was just straight on with it. Now, I think Joreuz here has tried to scare Atow into not hitting that. Was that an attempted dodge from Joreuz? I'm not sure, because he just jumped. Surely he was trying to dodge there, but then I'm also thinking there is like a chance that Joreuz is trying to scare Atow away from shooting that, because he should see him coming. And if he can see him coming, you're going to be wondering, maybe I shouldn't shoot this, because I'm going to land inside the goal. The ball could be behind me. and Joreuz would have a counter-attack, but I think Joreuz just blundered to 2 goals in this game, I would say. Joreuz could have definitely played better. ILS42, thanks for the 2-month tier 1, welcome back to the channel. Says that he's pogging very hard, I'm very glad to hear that. Hopefully you will still be pogging very hard at the end of this game. Alright, well Joreuz has got perfect view here. Atow in plain sight, not the sneakiest challenge we've seen all day. It's a bit of an old-fashioned mistake there from Atow. He didn't get between the ball and his goal before trying to sneak the challenge in. He was just a bit side on. Both players... Oh no, not this time. I thought both players would half flip again since it's early in the game, but this time it's just Atow. Joreuz is not countering it. He's played the ball straight towards his opponent here. And this is not a counter strategy. You know, back in the day, when players weren't as quick at half flipping, it was just considered a strategy to dribble from the center circle, but it isn't actually a counter anymore, because players can cover pretty much any shot from a low boost dribble after the kickoff. Atow's all over him here. 4-2. And Joreuz is just kind of playing a bit loose, I would say. I mean, first kickoff of the game, definitely a bit of a loose play. Second goal for Atow again. Joreuz not dodging into the ball. This time he just pops the ball up in front of him and Atow charges in from a pretty safe angle. Atow's definitely got his number here. Joreuz could be in a lot of trouble. And he could be about to give someone an absolute heart attack when they realize they're up against him in the lower bracket. That's much better. Joreuz darts past Atow with a nice wave dash. Recovery. Atow expected Joreuz to go more across his goal there. Didn't realize Joreuz was turning it around quite that sharply. So Joreuz getting a nice kick of acceleration there from Atow, wave dashing into him. Something we see quite often these days. Huge pre-jump save from Atow, and now down the line he goes. First touch on the air dribble leaves a lot to be desired, but he gets in front of it and bumps Joreuz out the way anyway. Well, this guy really is just something else, because how has he managed to pull that bump off? Look at how he leans in front of the ball at the last second, completely blind, to bump Joreuz. I mean, he knew exactly where Joreuz was likely to be, but still to pull that off is kind of insane. Hey, Arsenal, thanks for the raid. I hope you had a good stream. And yeah, congrats on the ones wins yesterday. I know you didn't make top 8, but you got a pretty tough draw and did well. I was impressed to see the 2 wins against a stacked, sweaty ones lineup. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Atow just escapes Joreuz here. Yeah, Joreuz is really up against it. Atow looks a match for him in terms of pace. Oh wow, he looks a match for him for mechanics if he can pull that off. And the things that you'd expect Joreuz to have an edge in, if he's not going to have an edge in pace and mechanics, which it seems like he doesn't, then you'd expect him to have an edge when it comes to strategy and positioning and all the other things that come with just years of playing 1v1. But he hasn't had an edge. Okay, Joreuz is trying to the counter here, but it's dangerous. Yeah, he gets caught, and that's why it's so important. If you are going to try and hard counter that strat, you need to be quick. And Joreuz is just a lumbering turn there, too slow, and gets eliminated in the back corner. You need to get around the ball and then dribble it into your back corner before the opponent can catch up to you. And ideally you want to get the ball and the boost and then turn. Oh my word, Atow is going huge. He is completely destroying every single play. What a dunk that is. I think that probably made Joreuz lean forward in his chair. I think that was the lean forward moment. Well, what can Joreuz do against this? How is he going to come back into it? He's got many different styles he can go to. We were talking earlier about the chance of maybe seeing a bot Fennec player. Will Joreuz try and bot Fennec his way through Atow? I don't think so. But in the past when he has struggled, he's relied more on just a solid game, long shots to keep his opponent honest, and plenty of 50-50s as well. I think he's just barely snuck that one in, has he? Yeah, he has. So 2-goal game now. Joreuz Dodges an Atow air dribble bump. Very nice save. Bot Fennec is when you play Fennec and unbind air roll. You just play a very simple style, all about the fundamentals. Atow has got fundamentals for days. I mean, I continue to just be so impressed with this guy's ones game. Look at that, he's delayed the kickoff now. I mean, he's got mix-ups on kickoffs. He's got brilliant positioning. He's got brilliant boost management. Unbelievable offensive capabilities. And, I mean, his goaltending is fantastic as well. Some of the recoveries we've seen off the back of his saves have been perfect. So, you know, really the only aspect of Atow's game that I've not been 100% impressed by is his challenge game. I think his challenge game does kind of rely on some high-risk moves that probably won't work if Joreuz starts to be a little bit more careful with how he's dribbling. Some of Atow's challenges are a bit blatant, and you know, I think he could maybe disguise those to a higher level, but really that's all I can complain about right now. I mean, he's been a great advert for the half flip kickoff and the diagonal spawn. He's shown that he can win with this kickoff against many different things Joreuz has tried. Joreuz tried taking the ball to the back corner, didn't do it quickly enough. Atow was all over him in the demo. Joreuz tried to shoot directly, Atow saves it. Joreuz has tried to dribble directly past him, Atow saved that as well. I mean, if this isn't enough evidence that you guys need to be learning how to do the half flip kickoff in ones on the diagonal spawn, then I don't know what is, because Atow has been thriving with it. I'm a bit disappointed we didn't see any more double half flip kickoffs where both players use the same strategy against each other, because that would be an extremely interesting metagame to witness unfold before our eyes. Game 2, Atow has been way too much. Game 1 was close, but this one has been completely Atow favored. His air dribble bumps are they're just deadly. I mean, how are you supposed to save some of these? How are you supposed to read them, first of all? To save them? Yeah, good luck. Was Atow noticed for his ones? The first time that I took notice of Atow in ones was when his teammate Chronic and him were going back and forth on Twitter saying that they would both beat each other in ones. And Chronic is a player I have seen in ones. He's had some reasonable performances. But more the kind of performances you'd expect from a player who's new to the game mode. You know, big plays in offense, but sometimes going all in too much. Good speed, good aerial defense, but struggling with demo dodging, struggling with boost pathing. That was, you know, how I would describe a Chronic in ones. He did a lot of the things you expect from a highly mechanical player, but he also struggled with other aspects of the game. Then you've got Atow and him calling each other out on Twitter. I was like, right, I'll host that if they want me to. And then Atow destroyed him. He was just fully in control. And yeah, then I got Atow versus Raziers, who's obviously like a top 3 player in Europe, alongside Joreuz and Jack. Jack now moving to NA. You could say Raziers is just top 3 now with Moxie and Joreuz. He was top 4 before. And yeah, Atow beat him as well. And he did it in a style that was completely unexpected. He didn't just go and, you know, smack Raziers with some, you know, completely all-in aerial plays. No, he was recovering off the back of ones that didn't work. He was controlling his boost. He was controlling the ball. He wasn't rushing anything. I mean, I'm very impressed with Atow's overall ability in ones. Not just the stuff that you would expect from a threes player who's as successful as he is. Seems to have a great foundation to his game to challenge the best in the world. Pupium, thanks for the brand new Prime. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a good day. Not sure why the screen just froze there. I was tabbed out of the game and then suddenly it just froze, so let me tab back in. What did Archie say in the chat? Joreuz teammate Archie saying Joreuz washed. Well, let's find out. He switched to the Octane. And he's up by 1 goal now. Now, my one criticism of Atow, I want to remind you guys, is that sometimes I think his challenges are a bit too obvious. Now, can Joreuz get back to the corner? This isn't a the best turn ever, but he is going to do it. So there you go. Hard countered. Finally, Joreuz, at like the 10th time, has managed to counter Attow's half flip kick off in the diagonal. But when I say counter, I mean you do get 100 boosts and possession against a player who's got 100 boosts and usually has a chance to get up close and personal with you. So it's not a, you know, complete, maybe hard counter is the wrong word, but it is the best way to counter it. You do just get a good position for yourself if you can dribble the ball to your corner like Joreuz did there. Probably worth mentioning as well for all of you who were asking earlier on, you know, who's Dead Monster? Tell us about Dead Monster. All you newer viewers to the one scene. It was actually Dead Monster that kind of pioneered that strat as the counter to the half flip kickoff. He was the first guy to really do that in high level play. So you've got him to thank for that one. Before then, most people would try and dribble the guy going for the half flip. They would just dribble, make a 20 or 30 boost dribble and usually not score. Yeah, Dead Monster is the guy, and anyone else after him who's just maybe just, if Joreuz does it one more time, you will not see another half flip kickoff from Atow, because he's going to be thinking to himself, well, why would I just give him the ball? Why give him the ball and kickoff? That doesn't seem to be a good idea. So it's not a strat you want to do if your opponent knows you're going to do it. It's something you want to surprise them with, if possible. That's a phenomenal turn by Atow. Joreuz's boost has ran dry, but the fact that Atow has turned so sharply underneath the ball there and perfectly set up a shot for himself, I mean, that's going to go underrated by a lot of people watching, because it just looks like it, you know, a routine, you know, half clear and then a long shot. But that was absolutely perfect from Atow to, at the very last second, dive underneath the ball like that and effortlessly almost get it away from danger while also setting up a counter attack. Just perfect play. It really is. Keeping your opponent guessing, not revealing which way you're planning to go until the very last moment. Now Joreuz flicks from close range, but it goes right through Atow, who got a touch. Atow pre-jumped successfully, but Joreuz reset. Just gave him such a good position to flick from. Atow couldn't react in time. This time Atow's wave dash kickoff will bump Joreuz away from the ball. Earlier on in the series he bumped or not the ball, sorry, the boost. He bumped Joreuz into the boost earlier on in the series. Joreuz gonna stick around, great ball pressure. And with just over 2 minutes to go, he's in front again. Atow did not expect Joreuz to just play that ball twice in a row. He thought that one touch from Joreuz to pop the ball was just to waste time so he could then retreat. Turned out it wasn't. Okay, now we do have a double half flip kickoff. Look how much faster Atow was back to the ball though. He looks like he's really got that half flip figured out to a very high level. I mean, he was so quick back to the middle of the pitch compared to Joreuz, who took more of a defensive line there. That's another reason why the let's just dribble the opponent when he half flips, it doesn't really work anymore. When players like Atow can dart back into position that quickly, it's really difficult to get the ball past him safely. NA, yeah, Fear's NA tournament concludes tonight, I believe. Or if it doesn't conclude tonight, I think it does conclude tonight, doesn't it? That starts later. I'm gonna need to double check the start time. But I think it's at 8 Eastern. Oh, wow, Joreuz saved this. Well played, but Atow has really made a big mistake there. He writes my bad in the quick check because he knows that that was a free goal and he just hit it too slowly. Oh, it ends tomorrow. Hold on, let me check when I'm going to be streaming that one, because I know I'm going to be streaming this. Atow air dribble bumps Joreuz from the kickoff. Well, Joreuz probably should have just gone there. I don't know why he turned. Like, I felt like he had a good bit of momentum to work with there, but he just turned. And the fake challenge there really only works if the opponent shoots the ball. Joreuz with all that momentum could have probably just jumped into a high challenge and made a play go pretty even, but Atow, yet another win in the position that big mistake though. It's going to give Joreuz a 2-goal lead again. Rare to see Atow completely lose control in an air dribble, but Joreuz spotted it. He knew that Atow wasn't getting back to that one. That wasn't a trick. He had in fact just lost control completely. Can Joreuz close it out? Can he close out the first win for himself in this series? What a surprise to be saying that sentence. Pre-jump by Joreuz. Atow with a flick past him, and then the second touch as well. I don't know if Joreuz is worried about another air dribble bump there, because he went very, very early for a high pre-jump. Might have been hoping to get an early attack on a play of that sort. Either way, Joreuz has got a decent position for himself here. Ton of boost to work with. Can he close it out? Final few seconds. He's going to try and air dribble this one into the ground. He's guarding it all the way. GG, Joreuz does take game 3. I actually saved this replay because I wanted to watch back exactly what happened with that double half flip kickoff. I'm going to probably take a look at that one later if we've got time. Okay, I'm just checking. So yeah, Fear's tournament tonight. Yeah, it looks like is it just 2 matches happening tonight? Just the quarterfinals, it looks like. And then the semis must be on tomorrow. Am I right about that? Yes? Okay. So yeah, there's 2 matches tonight. I'll be streaming a couple matches for that when it starts 1 in the morning my time. 8 PM Eastern. And that'll be interesting to watch. Good to see so many players showing interest in the ones tournaments as of late. Oh, look at this from Joreuz. Great demo in the back wall. And a very creative solution to an awkward position that he found himself in. Falling off the ceiling. He just twists and turns his way back to the ball. It's an open net, but still well played to secure it that quickly for the opener. Kickoff mind games continue. Joreuz getting a bit bulldozed there as Atow goes right through him. Joreuz trying to delay his kickoff. Atow sticks to the ball with the follow through. Gets a big dunk on him. Okay, we're going to see another Atow attempted dribble versus Joreuz. This one doesn't work out at all. This is more of what you expect to see when someone just tries to dribble their opponent right off the kickoff like this. Usually, and I'm just looking, you know, from all the times I've seen this happen in pro play, usually the defender comes out on top, and he does there. So far the track record, I believe, for Atow trying to dribble with low boost against Joreuz 100, it's 1-1. Atow scored once with a kind of low air dribble bump, and then he misses with a flick and does concede in the counterattack. So yeah, 1-1 success rate. Joreuz is having a lot more success capitalizing on Atow mispositioning. This is something that didn't really happen a lot in the first 2 games of the series, I should say. Atow starting to make small mistakes here and there. These are mistakes that he can't afford to make. He's trying to get a very specific touch there. The reason he misses is because he wants just a little chip on the ball just to knock it up in front of him. Of course, if you're going for a precise touch, then you are running the risk of missing it in certain situations. Atow really wanted that air dribble bump. Joreuz is trying to just control the ball on the goal line. Boost is respawning for him. Look at the timing, that's unbelievable. Joreuz has completely mind melded with the boost respawn, and he's quick to the punch. Atow a bit sluggish on the turn. Joreuz is up by 3. Yeah, how about that from Joreuz in defense? Just letting the ball bounce towards his goal that little bit closer so that he can take the boost when it respawns. Now you can clearly see why this is an advantage. Joreuz, for the second time in a row that he's done this, just gets a free possession. And yeah, Atow's got 100 boosts and he's got a lot of space to defend with, but this is still a position that Joreuz will take any day of the week. He is in control, especially with a goal lead. This is just not a good result for Atow. Joreuz has started to read those half-flip kickoffs, or maybe not read them, but started to spot them when they do occur. At great enough distance that he can now get around the ball and just have the first possession of the game, first possession of the play, I should say, all to himself. Atow with just 15 boost. Joreuz charging in, takes the ball away and lobs in a fifth. Octane Joreuz, the solution. A lot of talk about Bot Phoenix earlier. Well, how about Joreuz whipping out the Octane as a counter? Atow forced to really go for the comeback here. This is such a big lead Joreuz has established for himself. Atow just has to make those risky challenges that I was kind of critical of earlier on today. There's another one. Joreuz absorbs it. And I think he snuck that one in as well. He's been sneaking in those open nets in the bottom left corner today. Joctane he is. Nice. Okay, double half flip. This time Joreuz is faster back to the ball. We really have seen more half flip kickoffs in this matchup than ever before. It's crazy to see it looking more viable than ever when both players have done it this much. Joreuz is actually going to half flip in the slight offset spawn here. He makes that work as well. No way. He half flips into his net and then just charges in for the save. But Atow doesn't really know what to do against that one because he's probably not seen it before. I mean, that's a rare one. That is a really, really rare one to see. Hold on. Yeah, I'm telling Atow he can FF. It's almost like players should start with 100 in this game mode. I completely disagree, left and right. Actually disagree. I think that 1v1 kickoffs are peak as they currently are. I wouldn't change anything about them. I wouldn't change anything. Alright, Atow forfeits at 8-1. And we go to game 5. The reason I wouldn't change anything is because right now I currently really like the ones meta for kickoffs. I'm a massive fan of where it's at. I think there are so many viable strategies and so many mind games and so many things that players can still improve on. Like, we're not even like close to the peak of one's kickoff meta. It's just getting started. Like, the amount of fake kickoffs and the amount of just don't even go for the ball kickoffs in the first place, the amount of, you know, more standard strats like wave dash recoveries and old-fashioned kickoff. I feel like it's such a good meta game. I wouldn't change anything. That's just me. That is a boom. Joreuz launches in the first goal of the game. He did well there not to get tripped up to a bigger degree from Atow's little bump on him. Dark's kickoffs are amazing. Yeah, Dark's kickoffs are very unexplored territory for the majority of players. Like, the stuff we've seen today from Atow and Joreuz are more explored kickoffs, apart from that one that Joreuz just pulled off where he half flipped into his net on purpose and then just hid behind the ball. That's a very new one. But Dark's kickoff where he does an inverted half flip fake kickoff on the slight offset spawn, he's pretty much the only guy who does that regularly, I think. Some other high-level players have started to implement it, but that's a new one. I really want to see the scrub killer kickoff that he was doing for a while about a year ago. I want to see more of that one because Scrub actually had loads of success with it, but it didn't catch on. I'm referring, of course, to the one where you just kind of go for a blocking style kickoff, but with a reverse 45-degree dodge instead of a side flip or a front flip. I think it's a really valid strat to mix into the repertoire, but not many players have given it a good go yet. That's a fantastic save by Joreuz. Joreuz really showing his experience here, fighting back against a young mechanical beast with nothing to lose. 2 games down, now to 2-2 in the 8-1 game 4. We'll have left Atow doubting his ability in this one. But an explosive double tap will have given his morale the boost that it needs to make game 5 as close as possible. Sorry, my Rocket League just like briefly froze there. It's happened a couple times today. For a while, AJ was straight up driving to the ball kickoff. Yeah, that one works. But what you try to do, or at least if AJ's one is what I'm thinking of, is you try and drive into the ball slightly on the side so that it just bounces into the ceiling and then lands somewhere in your back corner, right? At least I've seen that one a lot in show matches. Alright, Atow dribbling Joreuz again. Joreuz comes away with the ball again. So this is again second time in a row Atow's tried to dribble Joreuz, and Joreuz half flips, and it has not worked either time. Joreuz has come away with a superior position. Joreuz kind of threw away that advantage though with a lackluster counter-attack. I mean, he's still in an okay spot, but he went from a position that you probably score from eventually to complete 50-50 in the midfield. He's caught up with Atow's retreat and demoed him to give himself a lead once again. Yeah, the reason that the just drive into the ball kickoff works is because it's disguised. It's not obvious that you're just not going to flip into the ball until the very last moment, and human reaction time can't react to it. So yeah, as long as you can just steer slightly to the side to deflect it to the back corner instead of, like, the worst thing that can happen when you just drive into the ball and kickoff is that the ball goes right over the top of your car, bounces off the ceiling and directly into your net, which can happen if you don't steer it sideways slightly. So you'll see players turn off to the side just ever so slightly, just to a touch, and try and get a more controlled bounce. So Joreuz too early there for the boost steal. The attack comes to an end. Atow's got a flip to work with here. Goes for the bump, and that's all he needed to tie the game. The threat of the bump was sufficient. Wave dash was available for him to accelerate into position. Joreuz knew all that was coming, but in saving his car, he could not save the shot as well. Noobidoo, thanks for the 5-month prime. Also 18-month prime from Lucker McQueen. Thanks for the resub there. We are in a stunning game 5 here between two players who have thrown absolutely everything at each other today, strategically and mechanically. Who has the ice to close it out in game 5? I talked briefly about ice on the RLCS stream this weekend. Shogun is asking me, do I think that, well, I can't remember what team it was. I think it was G1. Did G1 have the ability to improve in that game 5, game 6, game 7 pressure? And I'll tell you guys what I said to Shogun there is, no, I don't. I don't think players get better in game 5 situations. I don't think players get better in high pressure situations. I think ice is the ability to be less bad than most players do. And that's what Atow is trying to show us here. He's just been annihilated in game 4-8-1. Everybody gets a little bit more jumpy. Everybody gets a little bit more nervous when the pressure's on. But the player that can let that affect their play the least is the player who's got the ice. Atow strikes early. Joreuz managed to close the angle just in time. Has he got the goal though? I don't think so. In fact, a bit of a nightmare scenario for Joreuz, who really committed for the goal there. Didn't get a good touch. Now he's got to defend an Atow shot, and good luck saving that one. Absolute nightmare situation for Joreuz. Completely grinds to a halt after a failed shot, and that of course gives Atow 100 boost, possession and the whole field to work with. That's not a combination you want to give to Atow, especially given the level of play he's had today. Joreuz trying to mind game a slow shot past him in the near post. Atow not going to give it to him. He just has to hold on for another few seconds, and this game will be his. That should be it. Atow in 5 has taken down Joreuz. He's stopped the reverse sweep short of success. GG's, says the great Joreuz. Oh, what a series from Atow. What an introduction, I'm sure, to many who have not seen much of his ones play recently. He is the real deal. Yes, Joreuz didn't play a perfect series by his impeccable standards, but Atow is a threat. He looks, I think, on this form, like he's going to get top 4 in this tournament for sure. That being said, I've not seen Luis or Toxic. Maybe they're both playing really well as well. So in that case, it would be very, very stacked.